What's good, Horror Horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer back with another video for you. And this, if you can't tell by the title, is another Horror Gamer Reviews. And let me tell you something. The movie I'm going to be reviewing today is the 2020 film Fantasy Island. So if you haven't seen Fantasy Island, just know your boy Horror Gamers reviews have spoilers in them all day, every day. So if you haven't seen the movie, pause this, check it out, and then when you come back, let me know in the comment section what you thought of the movie, and let me know if I'm full of shit, or if you agree with what I have to say. So with all that being said, anything after this point is on you. So, what do I have to say about Fantasy Island? Here, I'll show you. Ready? Oh, sorry. This movie was fucking terrible. Hollywood is in trouble if this is the shit that they release, because let me tell you something. I don't even know where to begin. So it all begins, these fucking idiots get off this plane to this big, beautiful island that's owned by the dude from Ant-Man, and it's supposed to be this island where your deepest fantasies come to life, and blah blah blah, and snore and bore. So basically, it's a group of like 6 people. They come to this island, and each of them get to live out this fantasy life of what they could have had, what they had and missed. One girl came for, I think, revenge on an old bully. One wanted to redo a moment in life. Another one wanted, I guess, it was a Chinese guy and his brother. They wanted to, I don't know, I guess, live a lavish lifestyle or some bullshit, like hang out with models and do drugs and all that kind of bullshit. But the twist, and then one guy wanted to be a Marine like his daddy and find the courage to, because he's a pussy. And so basically, it gives you your fantasy, but then it kind of perverts it and turns it into a nightmare. And they had good actors in it. I mean, Michael Rooker was in this. He did pretty good. Like I said, the guy from Ant-Man, the funny guy from Ant-Man was in it. I mean, it's weird seeing him play a fucking serious role. It had the one guy from fucking the Sons of Anarchy. I forget the names because the movie was so bad. I really didn't pay attention because they had all these good actors and they gave us an hour and 49 minutes of it is the best way I can say it. This is why Hollywood horror is in the shitter, because of movies like this, you know. And the part that gets me, it's a Blumhouse movie. Blumhouse does pretty good shit. Like, they did the Invisible Man, and that was a great movie. Like, that was a really good movie. Halloween, of course. Everybody knows I love Halloween. Halloween 2018 was fucking phenomenal. But they also have a tendency sometimes to put out some real turds. This is definitely one of them. The story, it was and it just, like, the ending, there was only one good part, and the part was, you find out that, they call him Rorik, which is, the guy from Ant-Man. His wife, I guess, died of tuberculosis or cancer, and you find out in the movie that his assistant is actually his wife, and he doesn't know about it. So he basically stays on this island and keeps people's fantasies coming to life. That way she stays with him, but I guess she dies every night. So basically she's like a prisoner, and he doesn't want to lose her. So he's doing all this out of love for her, like undying love. And I get that. That's a pretty good aspect, but other than that, this movie was a shit show. There's one girl from she played in another Blumhouse movie, Truth or Dare, the main character from Truth or Dare, who was also in Pretty Little Liars. She's in it. She's the one who wanted to have the revenge against the high school bully. Well, come to find out at the end of the movie, everybody is connected because a person she went on one date with that she became obsessed with died in a fire, and everybody had something to do with this time. Like the Marine who wanted to be like his daddy was a cop who wouldn't go into the building to save this kid. And the one girl who wanted to go back and redo a moment in her life was the one who set the fire accidentally because she left the pot on because she's a fucking idiot. And the two brothers, I guess they lived in the apartment and they just ran out like a bunch of whatever. And so she held all them personally responsible for this guy that she really liked dying. Now this bully bullied her so much in high school that she felt like she couldn't have anything she wanted, like made her feel like shit. So ultimately in the end you find out she's the one pulling all the strings on this island to basically kill everybody who basically ended her real life fantasy before it got started. Somebody who could care about her. And the fucking death of her was so stupid because all she had to do, they brought her bully onto the island and she pretended to save her. Well, the guy from Ant-Man's one rule is he has to give all his guests their fantasy if they drink from the water from this magic well or whatever, some stupid shit. And so the girl drank and said, well, I hope you're with this guy forever. And then the dude comes out of this pond and drags her under the water. And then she comes up for one last hurrah to throw a grenade at him. And then the pussy who wanted to be like daddy in the military finally gets his cojones and jumps on the fucking grenade and blows up and dies. And Rurik, which is the owner of the island, decides he needs to let his wife go because he doesn't see, like, it's not what he wants, it's what he has to do. So he lets her go, and then he becomes like this good guy at the end. So at the end of the movie, there's like 3 survivors. It was the Asian guy, it was the bully, and it was the girl who wanted to go back and change something in her life. And the Asian guy wanted his brother back because his brother ended up getting killed in the fantasy. So he Rorik looked at him and said, well, technically you were living your brother's fantasy, you're still entitled to one. And then the Asian guy was like, well, I want my brother to go home and blah blah blah. And then Rorik was like, okay, well then all you have to do is stay on the island forever and whatever. And then they're getting ready to take off, and he brings his brother back because he ends up staying on the island. And at the end of the movie, when they're flying away, he looks at Rorik and is like, well, what do I do now? And then Rorik's like, well, you work for me now. He's like, I'm going to get you a suit and a name tag. What do you want to be called? Do you have a nickname or something? He's like, yeah, I got one from high school. And he pulls it off, and he shows his tattoo, and it said, tattoo. And I'm like, oh my God. So basically, they introduced him as Tattoo at the end of the movie. And if you don't know what Fantasy Island is, it was like this fantasy show back in the day, and Tattoo was this little guy who used to be like, boss, the plane. So I was like, ugh. So if I have to give this a rating, Horror Horde, I'd have to give it a 2. This movie was shit. Hollywood, your horror sucks. I think I'm going to stick to my found footage independent shit because that's way better than this crap. But alright, Horror Horde, that's been my review of Fantasy Island. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've seen it, if you like it, let me know in the comment section what you thought of this clusterfuck of a movie. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. But yeah, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the dingly ding ding button. That way, every time your boy Horror Gamer throws up a new review or a true ghost story or an unboxing, you're in the know and you know when it's up. So with all that being said, Horror Horde, thank you. I love you. And as always, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.